Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tech Tuesday, integrating QR codes for an innovative classroom. I just want to go over some housekeeping items before we get started. If you have a question, please type it into the Q&A option. Attendee microphones will be muted. You will be in listen mode only. Today's presentation is being recorded. It will be archived and available on the IPDay website within 48 hours. You do have a chat option that you can use that I'll check from time to time, just in case you have any questions. So I'm Vanessa Nicholson, an IPDay statewide trainer, and I'm so happy to be here with you Tuesday during lunch hour to talk all about QR codes. For this presentation, I do recommend you have access to your cell phone. We will be using the scanning app, or if you have a camera feature on your phone that lets you scan QR codes, you will need that. If you have an Android, I believe you can use your Google Lens or a camera. And if you have an iPhone, you'll just open up to the camera option, and then it will frame our QR codes with yellow little framing, and then it will give you the website. So if you have your phone, please go ahead and grab it so you understand how to use QR codes when we're going throughout this presentation. So quick response codes. QR codes, as known as quick response codes, are two-dimensional matrix barcodes that can store a large amount of information. QR codes started evolving in 1994 by an automotive company called Denso Wave. And then it took storm by 2010, where phones had apps like QR scanners. I remember doing that. But now you can just open up your camera, point to the QR code, and away you go. You're led to a website, file, audio, and all that great stuff. I first saw the eruption of QR codes during the pandemic. I mean, even though they were out before then, I think when everything was on lockdown and I tried to go to a restaurant, everything was in QR codes because they didn't want to print paper menus, and they didn't want you touching the menus at the time. But now I'm even seeing them on commercials. I was watching a commercial, it was Carnival Cruise Line, and it had like scan QR code on TV to take you to the next thing. I bought groceries yesterday at Publix, and to check out, it was like scan QR code to pay for your items. Even last night, I was paying a bill, and on the paper bill, it was like scan QR code to pay your bill. And I'm like thinking, wow, this is everywhere. You know, QR codes can be used to store various types of information. Why don't we just sort of type in the chat where you've seen QR codes that I haven't mentioned, because I'm seeing them everywhere, in stores, at restaurants, plane tickets, concert tickets. In the chat, if you can, type in where you have seen QR codes that maybe I haven't mentioned yet. And I'll give you a couple seconds to do that. Library, yeah, for sure. School, yep. Classrooms, movies, video games, yep. Medical appointments, for sure. Books, absolutely. Museums, yep, when they do those gallery walks and they want you to have more information about someone. Yes, Amazon returns, because I do that all the time. Constantly returning, absolutely. And those are just a few of the ways that we are seeing QR codes. Yep, in magazines. So generally, there are two different types of QR codes. They're static and dynamic. So static QR codes it just contains fixed information such as a website link, contact information, or product details, and they cannot be changed once they're created. Static QR codes are typically free to generate. You know, most of the websites that do static QR codes are free. The dynamic QR codes, on the other hand, have the ability to be edited and updated after creation. But for this presentation, I'm going to focus on the free ones, the static QR codes. So before I get into how to create QR codes, I want to give you the pros and cons of QR codes. So pros, hey, they're easy to access digital resources. It saves time. It can promote self-directed learning. You can have a specific QR code for a student's needs. It's engaging, it's interactive. And since QR codes are used so widely, you're setting up students for success so they know what a QR code is and how to use it. Some of the cons, though, especially using in the classroom, you will need internet, you will need technology. sometimes there's technical issues, right? You're scanning the QR code, the website's down, the thing you put up is down, so the QR code doesn't work. Also, if students are using phones for QR codes and not like a tablet or an iPad, those screens can be small. And I know this for a fact, because sometimes at restaurants, they'll give me they'll say, hey, scan this QR code for the menu. And I'm like, I can't see that. I need the menu. So sometimes your screen ends up being really, really tiny. Also, it can be additional prep time for you as the instructor to print and develop the QR code. So even though they're a great thing, and I love using them, there are some cons to them. So let's talk about the different ways we can use QR codes. There are so many things you can do to utilize QR codes. You can use QR codes for sharing websites, reading and math materials. You can use it to share YouTube videos, podcasts, and feedback. If they get a question or problem wrong, you can give them that type of feedback. You can share your classroom syllabus, take attendance, online assessments, exit tickets, and ESOL classrooms. You can link audio, okay? You can ask them a question, they can respond. You can do pronunciation practice, visuals or definitions to support vocabulary words. You can link grammar exercises. You can also design a learning game or scavenger hunt. You can even share your contact information. If they wanted to email their teacher, hey, by the wall, by the door, scan the QR code, my email comes up. You can provide websites or links to different careers or sectors. It can be something like once a week, you can say, hey, we're going to explore the healthcare sector. Go ahead and scan that QR code. The healthcare in this sector, we're going to explore certified nursing assisting, this career. If you're interested in it, here's some more information about it. In ELA, you can use QR codes to provide writing prompts. You can ask them to respond to writing. You can also provide students feedback, links to books, links to excerpts, links to online dictionaries, the sources, and links to articles. So our first QR code we're going to be looking at is this one. And if you have your phone available, go ahead and scan it. If not, I've already linked it for you, but it does lead to something. And I'll give you a second to once you get to it, you can press play. And then for those that don't have their phone, I will click so you can see what it leads to in just about 5-10 seconds. So if you don't have your phone available, those who use their phone to scan this QR code, it led them to this site called, I say Vukaru, but it could be called Vukaru. But in any case, you press play.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me on Tech Tuesday. I am so happy you are here.
What's really, really great about this site is that you can voice record. You can voice record directions. You can voice record a question that they could answer to, and it's free. So in order to do that, we are going to go ahead and look at the directions of how to create it. And I'm going to let you record it for yourself and create the QR code for yourself. So go ahead and pull up your browser and type in the link vukaru.com. I'm going to actually put it in the chat as well. That way you could just copy and paste. It might be a little easier that way. So let me put vukaru.com. And once you go to that, you're going to select the red button with the mic to record your audio. Okay. Once you record the audio, you're going to select the red square button to stop recording and then save and share. I'm going to do an example for you, and then I'll probably stop talking for a few seconds to let you do it because it's hard to record when somebody's talking, right? So let me go ahead and go to the site. And then this is the site that you'll get. And then this red button in the middle will be the way you record. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the record button. Hi, I'm Vanessa Nicholson. I'm happy to be here with you today. And then I'm going to press stop. Once I press stop, I'm going to select save and share. Once I select save and share, it has a couple different options at the bottom. It will give you the QR code automatically. You can embed it. Embedding is really important for if you're using Canvas. You can embed it where it automatically plays within a learning management system. You can also download it, or you can also delete it. And you could share it to Facebook, Twitter, and a couple of different applications. So that recording I just made, I'm going to select QR code. And then that's the QR code for my voice. Now, if I love it, I'm going to save QR code. What I usually do is I take my phone and I scan it and I play it back to make sure it sounds okay. So once you select save, it should automatically save to your desktop. You save it, you print it, and then you put it, you post it in the classroom. I'm going to give about 10 seconds for you to go ahead and record, and I'll put my chat on to see if anybody has any questions about how to record themselves and how to get a QR code from Vukaru. All right, I see no questions in the chat, so it sounds like everybody pretty much knows what they're doing. I do recommend you go ahead and bookmark this page because you can use it in a lot of variety of ways. Like I said, if you're ESOL, you can definitely ask a question. You can have students work on pronunciation, hearing you say something. If you're ELA, you can provide directions. You could also ask them questions. You can remind them of a skill or strategy, but this can be used in a variety of ways. So go ahead and bookmark this one because this is something I use a lot. All right. So let's go on to the next QR code. If you have your phone handy, go ahead and scan this QR code. And I'll give you a second. And for those that don't have their phone with them, I'll go ahead and select the QR code. The URL that's coming up is what people are seeing who are scanning the QR code. So once they scan the QR code, they are brought to Khan Academy.
Hello, readers. We've got a bear of a lesson today, and it's all about figurative language. Sorry, I should back up. I know I said we have a bear of a lesson. I don't literally mean that I've got a bear. That would be extremely sweet. Love a bear.
And I'm pausing it right there because as you can see, you can link a URL to a QR code. And this could be helpful for students. If they are stuck on a skill, a strategy, if they're stuck on something, you can link them to a lesson to review a skill or strategy or a certain term. You know, you could post in your classroom, need help, right? And then above that, you put the QR code and it scans them to whatever the help they need based on this skill or strategy. And that's one way to link the URL for the QR code. You could also still link it to career explorations. Interested in manufacturing? Boom, here's a link right here. You know, you could do it that way. So there's many ways you can link URLs with QR codes. Here's another way to link a URL to a QR code. And I'll let you go ahead and do that. And if you notice my QR code, you'll see the colors change, the designs change, and we'll look at all of that when we create some QR codes, but go ahead and select that. And then for those that don't have their cell phones available, I'll go ahead and select it for you. So what was created right here is an attendance form. And this was created with QR Monkey, which I'll show you, but you can take attendance this way. Students just, you know, they scan the QR code, they put their first name, last name. This was done through Google Forms. Google Forms does a great job of providing a Google Sheets or an Excel sheet where it puts the date of when the student signed in, it timestamps it, and it puts the name. So this could be a way of taking attendance rather than doing, if you're still using paper and pen or a clipboard to sign in. Here's a unique way that you can do that. So in order to make or to link URLs to QR codes, you will need to type this in your browser. I'm going to go ahead and copy it for you and put it in the chat. Let me go back really quick. Give Give me 1 second. Here we go. And then let me put this in the chat so you can just go to it. There we go. And I'll give a couple seconds for people to get to it. All righty. If you're not at QR Monkey, let me know. But for those that are there, this is a free QR code generator website. And I really like it because you can use it to do a lot of things. Some things you can't do. So some of these sites require you to pay a fee to upgrade. So I'll show you the stuff you can do, and then I'll show you the stuff you can't do. So to do a URL, on the electronic menu up top, you'll be at the URL tab, and then you'll have a URL that just goes right into there. So, and it could be any URL, and I'll probably do, let's do Khan Academy. How about I click that? It could be any URL you want. I'm going to just do Khan Academy since we just watched this. So you copy the URL, and then you go right into where it says your URL. You go ahead and enter that. Waiting a couple seconds just in case anybody's doing this simultaneously as I'm doing it. I'm one of those people that like to do the thing while the presenter's doing the thing. It helps me learn, okay? Once you do that, you can go to set colors, okay? And you can pick whatever colors you want. And the QR code is going to be the thing on the right. So on the right, you'll see the QR code generate, but you can go ahead and play with the colors and see what you kind of want it to look like, okay? And it'll tell you, make sure there's enough contrast to make it darker and all that great stuff. If you want to see what it looks like without doing anything else, just do create QR code and you'll see. And on the right, you see how mine changed to black and red. So you might say like, you know, I just want to play with the colors. You can do that. As you can see, the background color is black and then the single color is right up here. Okay, then it has color gradient. So if you wanted it to fade into something else, right? If you wanted it to fade into something else, you can do that. And then of course you would have to create QR code, and then it would show that it's fading into something else. And then custom eye color. The eye color of the QR code would be like, on the corners of the QR code, you'll see 3 squares. Those would be your eyes. So you can change the eye color, and I think I'll change it to white, and I'll change it all to white. They recommend a darker color, but that's okay. And then create QR code. And as you can see, the 3 squares in the corner, those are called the eyes of the QR code. They change to white. So you can play with this at your leisure. You can play with, you know, changing the color, changing the eye, and making it gradient. If you have a logo that you have, like your school has a logo, you can also add a logo. I'm not going to add a logo for you at this time, but you can. And then I think that's about it. So my QR code's already created, but if I wanted to play with the colors a little more, I'd have to recreate it. So maybe I'll change it to blue and then create QR code, which is fine, okay? Once you do that, you're going to select download PNG, okay? While it's at this screen, don't do anything. Don't exit anything. Do nothing. It's being downloaded. Okay. And then there it goes. QR code right there. And there it goes. If I use my phone to scan it, it should lead me to Khan Academy, the website I just copied. And if you use your phone to scan it, it should lead you there as well. I'll pause for any questions about this piece of how to create a QR code using this. Go ahead and bookmark this website because this is a really good one to use. All right. So let me go ahead and take that. I'll do one more for you for anybody that thought it went a little too fast. So once you go to QR Monkey, make sure you're on URL, and then you go ahead and you put the URL on here. It doesn't matter what it is. It just has to be a URL. When I did attendance, I copied the link from Google Forms, and that was my URL. Once I do that, I set the colors if I need to. I can change the background, I can change the eye, I can make it gradient. If I have a logo, a school logo, I can create the image, and that's about it. And then I select create QR code. It's not letting me select create QR code because I've already created it and I haven't made any changes. If I made any changes, then that green button would be there again for me to create QR code, then download PNG. Okay, then that's how you do it. Now, I know there's text and different features on this one, but I love this one primarily for URL. I didn't choose this one for text, but I'll tell you why on the next few slides. All right. So here is another QR code that I want you to scan, and this is a QR code in text. If you wanted to type something, go ahead and scan it. And this is QR stuff. And for those that didn't get a chance to scan it, this is pretty much what they'll see. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I'm not a singer, I'm just saying. But this is what they'll see, and it's all text. And you might be wondering why I didn't use QR Monkey for that. And the reason why I didn't use QR Monkey for that is because I actually tried that in QR Monkey where it said text. I put in text, like I even put the word hello just to kind of see. And what it did is it turned it into a URL. So when I scanned my QR code for the word hello, it didn't show text. It led me to the Adele song, Hello. So that's not really what I wanted to use it for. So even though some of these sites are free, they don't sometimes work in exactly the way you want it to work. So QR stuff is what I would use to do just plain text, okay? And how you use QR stuff, and I'll put it in your browser. We're going to go to the link. We're going to select plain text, type in the text, and then we should be able to see our QR code. So I'm going to go ahead and select it, and I'll provide the link for you in the chat. I'll give you a second to get there. With QR stuff, you can do website URL as well. But one thing I want to caution you about QR stuff, you are limited to 50 scans per code per month. And I say that because QR Monkey doesn't have those limitations, but QR stuff does, because it'll make you upgrade. So you can have various QR codes in QR stuff, but it's limited to 50 scans per month. So I want to caution you on that. So if you do just want to do plain text, of course, you go ahead and you select plain text and you type in the text, whatever you want to say, like, hello, I like to go to the beach. It is fun, you know, or you can say something like, find the mistakes within this sentence. We could do homophones. I went over there today to see if their keys were there, right? Find the mistake in the sentence. You can do something like that. Forgot my apostrophe. All right. And then once you do that, you scroll down and you select next step, because you can go through that. And of course, it has eyeball shape, all that great stuff. I do want you to know that if you want to change the eye color and logo, you can't do that unless you upgrade to the paid version of this, okay? And you just continue clicking or selecting next step, which is what I do, until I get to the end. And then once I'm at the end, I just go ahead and download my QR code. And then it'll be static, because if you want to do dynamic, you would have to pay for that. And dynamic, you can change what's on the other end. Static means it stays like that forever. And once you do that, your QR code is already created for you on the right. And you select download as PNG, which is what I usually do. And then this should be the QR code right here. And once you scan that, there should be text that you will see. It's going to look like you're typing in a Word document, but on your phone. Okay. I recommend you go ahead and bookmark this as well to use for text, just remember the slight caveat on that, it's limited to 50 scans per QR code per month, okay? Let me go ahead and look at this. All righty. So here's some of the stuff that you can use QR codes with, of course. Vocaroo to record audio, which I love Vocaroo, or Vocaroo if I'm pronouncing it wrong. QR stuff, limited to 50 scans per month. There's QR code generator, which I didn't show you, but that's also another free site. I like sites where you don't have to sign in. So all these require no signing in. And then QR Monkey, which I feel like it's more advanced, where you can change the colors, add logos, do all that free stuff without signing up. And then if you are familiar with Canva, they've also added a QR feature. So if you are making PDFs, posters, invitations, just anything, banners, you can add a QR code right to Canva and it's right there for you. So this comes to the end of our presentation. If you have any further questions on how to create QR codes, or if you say, hey, that went way too fast for me, can you just show me how to do it? Please feel free to email me at vnicholson@irsc.edu. And I'd be more than happy to walk you through how to create QR codes and how to do different things with them, okay? Well, that brings us to the end of our presentation. I would love for you to give update feedback. Just so you know, there's a webinar tomorrow on Wednesday, April 12th, an online support guide for Florida administrators of adult education. Register to this webinar on IP Day. And again, if you have any further questions of QR codes, feel free to email me and I will walk you through. I have no problem providing some one-on-one support for you. All right, thank you so much.